But again, Rahu Ketu in the 410 axis. So public life, like he had to fight with the foreigners. That was his career. Rahu in the 10th house. Rahu is the foreigners. So foreigners were always on his mind. Moon is mind. Rahu is foreigners. So the British were always on his mind. Okay. And this is just now we learned this, not learned, but we've done it before, but we saw this concept of Papa Kartari, right? If you pick up a chart where the Lagna is Papa Kartari, now can anybody tell me, does his Lagna have a Papa Kartari?
I gotta look it up.
What does Papa Kartari mean?
So he's stuck between Saturn and the sun?
Exactly. So what the question is, his Lagna, this is his Lagna. Does his Lagna have a Papa Kartari? Means two bad guys on either side? Yes, Sun and Saturn. I have seen a lot of several charts where if the Lagna is Papa Kartari, literally, and politicians especially, they will be shot dead. Why? Because first house is your physical being. And so Papa Kartari on physical being means all the time somebody is after your life. So Indira Gandhi, who was the prime minister, and she was shot dead by her own bodyguards. She has Papa Kartari of Lagna. Mahatma Gandhi, now you see his chart, he has Sun, Saturn on either side. He has Papa Kartari. He was shot dead by a Hindu, actually. So this just means constant pressure on your physical being, on your life. Okay. So we can see, like, keep peeling the onion and look at a lot of layers. And then, of course, you can see other nakshatras also, the other planets also. Mars is in Vishakha. Venus is in Vishakha. Mars and Venus both are in Vishakha. And what did we learn about Vishakha? Indra and Agni, they'll always be at the fork. So he had a choice to make at every step, and he chose the path of Agni. How? The path of Agni through purification, through fasting. Like he would fast for days and weeks, even months sometimes. So he did intense purification. So he chose the righteous path when it came to Vishakha. Okay. Saturn is in Jyeshtha. Saturn is in Jyeshtha. What do we learn about Jyeshtha? Ego. Issues with the authority. Indra is the deity, meaning issues with the authorities. So Saturn is what? Your karma, your work. Saturn in Jyeshtha means you will always be dealing with the ego of the authorities. So I mean, that was his whole life, to deal with the British, the kings, right? Okay. Any questions?
I'm curious if Papa Kartri also applies to beneficial planets. So, like, if it was Saturn and Jupiter, or would that be less pressure?
Oh, you mean one side Saturn, one side Jupiter? Yeah, that is no pressure. That is not pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, Papa Kartari
because
only
Saturn and the Sun are opposing each other, that's what creates it.
No, it's just simple logic. Like, think of, let's say you're sitting in the park and you have on one side of some some alcoholic is sitting, on the other side some drug addict is sitting. It's just you're both sides, you have something bad going on, right? So if you have Papa Kartari on your Lagna, means your whole life, yourself. Yourself is in danger, like two bad guys always sitting on each side, either side. If you have Papa Kartik, let's say on your fifth house, like Catherine Zeta-Jones had, do they have any children? Like how many children they have? Can somebody check?
Two.
Two kids. So I see a lot of pressure on those kids. I mean, because she see, we saw this, right? So she has Papa Kartari on her fifth house. So her fifth house has two bad guys. That means her children may always be feeling the pressure as well. We don't know the reality, but I'm just guessing. So something to do with her children. So that's how you apply the Papa Kartari. If this were on the fourth house, so two bad guys on either side of the fourth house, the person's mother may be under pressure. Fourth house represents our mother. Like that.